Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So for today's video, I'm doing another commentary style video. Since you guys seem to like my last one, which was actually my first one, it was the problems with aesthetics video. You guys seem to really like that video. So I decided to make another one because I'm a very opinionated person. I have a lot of opinions. And I also love educating you guys, but you guys seem to really like my opinions for some reason, so I decided to make another one because they're really fun to make. They're just super fun. And I also really like the discussions that I got to have with you guys in the comments section down below. In my last video, you guys, even got to educate me on what I was talking about by sharing your experiences with the topic that I was talking about. It was like really fun, and I enjoyed having like kind of discussions with you guys, and I love how that it kind of like created that. So yeah, throughout this video, feel free to comment down below anything you want to say regarding the topics that I'm talking about. So as you can tell from the title, I'm talking about performative activism. But before I do start rambling and talking about it, make sure to like and subscribe, because why are you not subscribed yet? Why are you watching this video and you're not subscribed? Like, you better subscribe. And I'm watching you. Yeah, I'm watching you. So yeah, you better subscribe, because why would you not want to be part of my squad, my cool people, my friends? Like, we're all basically friends at this point. Like, you guys are all my besties. So why do you not want to subscribe? Yeah. So before I do start talking about performative activism, I want to make sure that I give you guys a good like description of what it is if you don't know what it is. So this is Google's definition. Performative activism is a pejorative term referring to activism done to increase one's social capital rather than because of one's devotion to a cause. So that might just sound like a bunch of big words mixed together, but to kind of like simplify it, it basically means when like someone wants to talk about social issues regarding marginalized groups, but they themselves don't really care for the people, the community. They don't care about them. They use words that can offend the community, or they literally hang around people that have affected them, or they just post about it and talk about these issues because it's a trend and it's like hot and it's like new and it's getting a lot of publicity and it's getting a lot of attention, so they just want to post it, and they feel like if they don't post it they're gonna get canceled. So that's basically what a performative activist is. They just don't care about the issues. They're just posting it because everyone else is posting it, even though they don't care about it. Clearly they don't care about the people. So yeah, that's kind of like a good description of what a performative activist is. I'm all for people wanting to talk about social issues and using their platforms and privilege for good. Like, I'm all for that, and especially people that are not oppressed and they want to use their privilege to talk about these issues. I 100% support it. I'm not gonna like praise you for it because that's kind of like the bare minimum. That's kind of what like I expect you to do. I feel like that's what every decent or just good human being would want to do, like help people, like less fortunate people and less privileged people, because they'd want to see good in the world and change. So that's just kind of like why I'm not just gonna praise them for talking about it. But yeah, keep doing that because that's a great thing. Now that you know being a performative activist is not a good thing, like no decent human being, no good human being would want to be a performative activist, but for some reason that is not the case for a lot of people. A lot of the times the people that I do see that are performative activists are people that are not oppressed, which is very interesting, and I'll tell you why. I'm not saying that only the people that are not oppressed, they're the only ones that can be performative activists. I'm sure there are a bunch of minorities that are performative activists, but what I see, they're usually not oppressed. But the thing is, I feel like if a minority like were a performative activist, it'd just be like dumb, like, because I feel like once you're a minority you can understand the struggles of being oppressed, and you understand what another minority, not entirely, but you can understand what they're going through sort of with being oppressed. So like I feel like you'd want to support them more because you understand it for yourself. So it's just most likely for like a person that isn't oppressed to kind of not care, just do it because because, you know, it's for fun. They're just doing it because it's fun. They don't actually care. You know what I mean? Just kind of why I said that, because I just feel like it's most likely not oppressed person to kind of be a performative activist. So, but yeah, I feel like anyone can be a performative activist. Like, yeah, anyone can do it. It'd just be really dumb for a minority to be one to another minority. It'd just be dumb, you know what I mean? So recently there's been a bunch of Asian hate crimes going on recently. There's been an organization slash movement that has started that's called Stop Asian Hate, which I 100% stand for and love. But the problems with like movements and like organizations that start and are trendy is just a lot of people profit off of them and gain a lot of money or popularity, or just like they just kind of profit off of people's lives, like people losing their lives, which is literally so terrible to even say, but it's just so common to see it. And it's just like people kind of take advantage of the situation because it's trendy, because it's, you know, a #1 hashtag and everyone's talking about it. They kind of just profit and use the popularity to their advantage. And you even see it with Black Lives Matter during summer of last year. Like, a lot of people gained a lot of popularity just for speaking about it because it was popular, even though, like, you know, they probably did not care about it and just didn't be talked about it because they knew it was a trend, and a lot of people would probably listen or care because everybody else was doing so. It's kind of like a negative side to like the organizations and the movements that are going on, because a lot of people can use them to their advantage, and it happens a lot. So that's just kind of one thing that I think is like a negative side, besides all the positive things that come with it. There's obviously a lot more positives, but that's just kind of like one of the negatives I think a lot of people don't really talk about that much. So a lot of influencers are performative activists, and I've seen a lot. And I think actually like what kind of introduced me to performative activism was influencers on TikTok. And a good example that I can give you guys, like the most popular TikToker in the world, is Charli D'Amelio. She is a great example because she is a performative activist. I'll tell you why. But if you don't know who Charli D'Amelio is, she is like the biggest social media influencer, I think. She has like over 100 million followers on TikTok. And she is I don't know if I'd call her a celebrity, but she's just really popular. And no hate to her, like, do not go send her death threats, like, that's just stupid, don't. But, you know, I don't really have a problem with her, but so she preaches about being positive and not being homophobic, or obviously not being a predator or racist. She spoke for BLM, and, you know, she said she wanted to use her privilege for good, which was, you know, good for her, but ended up hanging out with a bunch of racist people and has a friend that's a predator and has homophobic friends. Like, these things just don't make any sense. Like, why are you talking about these issues when you have friends that literally do these things? Like, PSA, you're just as bad as your racist homophobic friends if you're still hanging out with them, because you're excusing their behavior, you're not doing anything about it. Like, I'm so sorry, but she clearly does not care. And I think it's really sad because she is very popular, so I'm sure she has a bunch of fans, and she has a lot of, I'm sure, minorities in the fan bases, and it probably hurts them a lot to see someone that they look up to not even care about their lives and their well-being, because, you know, she wants to hang around people that have used slurs and that have affected them. Like, it's just weird, like, so weird, especially because we obviously don't live her life, but we just like, we see it and we're just like, girl, what are you doing? Like, what are you doing? Why are you gonna post a whole 60-second video on TikTok speaking about Black lives and saying how what's going on to them is terrible, but then you're gonna go hang out with friends that have said the N-word and slurs and have said microaggressive things just because it's fun, just because, you know, it's funny to them because they don't understand it. So that's one thing I do not like about Miss Charli, and she definitely needs to, you know, change. I mean, she doesn't have to, but if you're gonna post about these things, like if you're gonna post about social issues, then do not hang around people that do the things that you obviously say are not good. Like, that's just hypocrisy, and I hate hypocrites. Like, that's one of my biggest things. I really do not like hypocrites. So yeah, that's a reason. Lip gloss break. that my neighbor? So another thing that I'd like to talk about is how social media has really given a bunch of performative activist platforms. And you know, because we have been on social media a lot more through the past year or so, almost like 2 years, because of the whole pandemic, we're always on our phones, and you know, we're always on Instagram, Snapchat, TikTok, we're always on there. So a lot of people have created these internet personas where they can act like someone that they are on camera, but behind the scenes they are completely a different person. And it's actually really scary because a lot of people have given these people platforms. You know, there's a bunch of activism TikTok pages where people talk about, you know, social issues or whatever, and which I think is a great thing. Like, I think that's a good thing to use your platform, like even if it's not that big of a platform, still use your platform for a good cause, a good reason. You know, so I love that, and I think it's a great thing, and TikTok has created a bunch of I feel like a good discussions, you know. But there's obviously a bunch of bad things that go with that, because there have been a bunch of people that have been, you know, activists, so-called activists, and that have talked about these issues, but behind the scenes or in the past, they have done a lot of the things that they so against, or they are opposite of what they preach. And a good example I can give you guys is this influencer named Emma Luhu. If you don't know who she is, I think she was like a TikTok that had over like 1 million followers, or like over like 500K, I don't know, just like a large fan base. And she was a white person talking about black issues, amplifying black voices, and she, you know, said that she standed with us and all that type of stuff, you know the usual. But then ended up videos resurfaced of her using the N-word and being extremely racist, which is super ironic because her whole brand was, you know, being an activist and caring for black people, but actually behind the scenes and behind their backs were racist to them and didn't even like them, which is so insane. Like, it's crazy. And I think that was actually the first time I was introduced to a performative activist. Like, that's insane. Like, you literally put out information to help black people, to, you know, say that you stand with us and talk about our issues reviving our community, but use a slur towards us. It's just like, where's a correlation? That makes no sense to me. It still doesn't like make sense to me. It's like, and she got canceled, which, you know, as she deserved. I'm not even gonna feel like sorry for her, because like I feel like if people have literally given you a platform, like you have a bunch of black followers, you have a bunch of black fans that support you as a white person just talking about their issues, and they felt like, oh my god, we actually have a white ally for once, and ended up stabbing them in the back. Like, I understand if you're not that person anymore, but I feel like you kind of owe it to them to kind of tell them your past before you start talking about their issues, their lives, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like you kind of owe it to the people that gave you the platform. Like, what? Like, I don't know. I feel like maybe if, you know, she did change or whatever, and that was like the old her, because people can change. Like, I'm all for changing and growing and, you know, learning. I'm all for that, but you know, it didn't seem like that because you didn't even mention it. Like, it was a shock. Like, it was a lot of people were hurt. A lot of her followers were hurt. I didn't follow her, but I did see her on my For You page a lot of the time, but I wasn't really like a follower. I didn't really care for her. And personally, I've kind of like learned, I guess, to just not really support, or not support, but be fans of a bunch of like social media influencers, because you just never know. You just never know. Like, behind the scenes, you don't know how they are when the cameras aren't rolling. You don't know who they are. They only show you what you want to see, which is just like everyone else. Like, same thing with YouTube. They only post things that you want to see. On Instagram, they only post pictures that they want you to see. So it's like, you just have to be careful. But personally, I just wouldn't really be a fan, or like a diehard fan of a social media influencer, I feel like, because you just never know with them. Moving on to Instagram and Instagram stories and Instagram posts. Instagram has been a amazing media outlet to talk about social issues. There have been many accounts, like these accounts that post these like informational posts, but like make it cute and like trendy and appealing and aesthetic and, you know, stuff like that. And they have gained a lot of followers actually, because people seem to care about social issues when it's like kind of pretty to look at, which is so weird to say, but like people are more drawn to read about things when it's like, I guess, colorful or like pretty font, and when it's like, you know, has flowers or butterflies, and when it's just appealing to the eye. And it's honestly a great like marketing, or like a great way to kind of gain publicity, because they know that people, things are appealing to the eye, a lot more people would want to learn about or like read it, or like, I guess, care, or draws attention to what their post is about, which is actually crazy to say. Like, it takes a bunch of like cute butterfly and flower posts for people to actually want to read about people getting killed in the street. That got really dark fast, but no, seriously, like, I think that's crazy. Like, you know, and I'm not saying that I have never posted a really, you know, informational post, because some of the times they're spitting facts, like actually spitting facts, but they're just like in really cute fonts, I guess, where people actually would want to read them. So yeah. And the problem that I have with Instagram stories is that a lot of people want to post Instagram stories and educate other people, which is great, but please read what you're posting, because I have seen way too many times people just post things because everyone else is posting it and are not even looking at what they're posting, and could be like not even right information. When I tell you how many times that I like clicked on someone's like story and then like looked at their story, and then I saw informational posts, clicked on it, read it, and it was false information, like it wasn't even right information. And I think that's kind of like a problem with these like cute Instagram story posts, is because they're so appealing to the eye, they just look cute. Some people just don't even read them and just want to post them, and the people that actually take the time to read them, they read them and like, girl, this is not right information. But the people that may not know that it's right information because they're trying to get educated think it's a good information and think it's the right information, but it's not, which can be extremely harmful. So please do not put out false information. Please read what you're posting on the internet. Like, I just find it weird. Like, I would never just post something on my story, even like post something in my story that I don't know myself, don't know her myself, it's true, you know what I mean? If you weren't here and you're living under a rock during last year's summer, when the whole Black Lives Matter thing started to gain popularity again, a lot of people started this black square thing where they just posted black squares to post black squares, even though it didn't really change racism, it didn't help in any way. It actually was actually a bad thing, because a lot of people were using the hashtag Black Lives Matter when, you know, that hashtag was to educate people that wanted to look into it and learn about it, but it was just filled with black squares. And personally, I did post a black square because I was like, okay, well, if I don't, how am I gonna look like? Because I think it was kind of like a post for solidarity and just kind of like to stand with the black community. And I was like, well, what does that look like if I don't post it? So I posted it, but then ineffective it is. Like, it's not changing racism, it didn't help change the world, nothing happened. Like, you're just posting a black screen with a hashtag and like a bunch of different color fists, maybe a heart. Like, you're not doing anything. So I was like, yeah, let me take this down because I'm not doing anything. But why did some of you guys still have that on your account? Like, take it down. Like, it's fine. Like, you can remove it. You're not gonna get canceled. You can remove it. Like, you can, like, there's no point. It didn't help change the world. It literally did nothing. So here's a little tip for all my performative activists watching this video. If you get called out for being a performative activist, let me help you out a bit. First things first, do not be defensive. Do not be defensive, I beg you, because that is the worst thing you can do, trying to prove yourself you're in the right and not listening to the person, especially if that person that's calling you out is a fellow minority, and you're talking about their community and they're trying to like tell you like, hey, like, stop talking about us, if you literally have said slurs to me, or you hang around people that are racist and homophobic, like you're just like stop, like they're trying to tell you that, and the first thing you do is be defensive. It's just like, bro, stop, because you're showing your true colors. You're showing your true colors that you obviously do not care. And also, do not belittle their feelings and invalidate their feelings. Like, I see this happen way too many times, where you guys love to invalidate minorities' feelings, also silence our voices. You may not know you're doing it, but you are doing it. Like, stop silencing minorities' voices and Black voices. Like, stop doing that. It's getting old, and it's just stupid, and it's honestly a terrible thing. The best thing you can do is just to be quiet and listen. Like, just shut up and listen. Literally, just be quiet and listen. Like, listen, and you don't have to understand where they're coming from. You probably won't understand, like, ever, but just really reflect, I guess. Like, it takes some time to reflect. It doesn't take a week or 2 days for you to realize, yeah, I'm not racist anymore. Like, that's not how it works. Like, you really have to reflect, and if you really want to change, then maybe learn and read and, you know, actually grow as a person. So yeah, that's a little few tips 101. To kind of conclude this video, speak on social issues. Use your platform, whether you have 5 million followers to 10, you still have a platform. Use it to your advantage. Do not hang around racist and homophobic people, because you're just as bad as them. I feel like everyone should know this by now, but apparently not, so I'm gonna repeat that. So yeah, do not hang around those people, especially if that's not what you stand for and that's not what you post on your Instagram feed. So yeah, what else? Stop silencing Black voices and minorities' voices, and be quiet and listen. That's all I ask. And yeah, and stop profiting off of people's lives. Like, stop profiting off of people dying just to get popularity and views and likes and comment. Like, it shouldn't be about that. So thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I'm sorry I touched my hair a lot in this video. It just, like, I don't know, I'm still getting used to my hair out. So yeah, it's a really bad habit, but I hope you enjoyed. So see you next time. Comment down below what topics I should talk about in my next video. So yes, bye. Love you guys.